Get ready for Australia's premier community running event, the Strait Link Burnie 10. Whether you're chasing a personal best or soaking up the atmosphere, this beautiful, fast course along Tasmania's stunning northwest coastline provides the perfect reason for a running weekend away. And this year, we're proud to host the Australian 10km Road Running Championships. Come and watch the nation's best or lace up and toe the line with them. Choose from the 10k, 5k or 800 metre kids dash. Plus, the earlier you enter, the cheaper it is. Register at burnie10.com.au. The Strait Link Burnie 10, Australia's premier community running event.
For 6 decades, De Bruyn's Transport has done more than just move freight. Through every long haul and each local delivery, we've helped keep Tasmania connected. Family owned from day one. This is a business built by people, and on pride in doing things right, day in, day out. De Bruyn's Transport, driven for decades.
Get all the right parts right now with the Cat Central app. Find the exact cat part you need with all your availability and flexible pickup and delivery options.
Our McCafe blend isn't just barista crafted across Australia. Our beans are also sourced from Kenya, Honduras, Ethiopia and Brazil, then roasted in Melbourne. Just another reason it's coffee fit for an Aussie.
Good morning and welcome to beautiful Burnie for the 41st edition of the Strait Link Burnie 10. Today's event will host the Australian Road Running Championships for 10 kilometres. There'll be a few people there fighting out for Australia's richest 10-kilometre road race, and amongst them will be Sam Clifford, the Australian record holder, a man from Launceston, the defending champion. He's a late starter, wasn't on the start list yesterday, he's on it this morning. Let's find out more about it with our commentary team, Grant and Brent.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Burnie 10 of 2025, the Strait Link Burnie 10, the 41st edition of the Burnie 10. And for the first time in the event's history, we'll stage the Australian men's and women's 10K Road Running Championships. I'm joined by Brent Jago from the Barron Files podcast, and welcome, Brent, for your first Burnie 10.
Excited to be here, Grant. Looks like a beautiful, Burnie's turned the weather on, beautiful spring day. Looks like almost perfect running conditions.
It was. On my way over from Devonport, not a breath of wind along the course, so we should be set for a really fast race with some fantastic athletes that have come down. We'll talk you through that elite field very shortly, and some big news announced just before the start line of a big name that I'm sure many will be surprised to see his name appear on the start list, whether it comes up on our screens or not, because it is so recent, that news, that we do have a very special guest running. The unfortunate news, of course, is Stewie McSwain, who is very popular around Tasmania, is a non-starter, but he has been replaced with someone who does generate just as much excitement. This is a race that has 3 events in all of this great festival of running here at Burnie. the Burnie 10K, the Elvinson Group 5K, and then, of course, the Live Eat Kids 800-metre dash, which should be a fantastic event. We're going to hear from two very featured athletes before we get right into the start of the Burnie 10 of 2025.
All right, Jen, you're a past winner. Welcome back.
Thank you. I wish I was in winning shape right now, but I'm still keeping my eye on that podium.
Look, it's a really stacked women's field with some really talented, not only international Australian women, but also some local Australian women, which we've seen this year. What can we expect from you?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know my ceiling at the moment. I do know that it's a very strong field, and that's good because it kind of raises the bar for everyone in the race. I have heard Leanne is in tip-top shape looking for that course record, so I'll have to be letting that go. But every time I kind of go out and race at the moment, I am improving a lot, and I think just with my comeback this time, I'm just going to try not to limit myself, and if I feel good, I'll go with the girls. If you know, I feel like I'm getting close to my limit, I might have to pull back. So it's an exciting race for me. I'm just excited to see what shape I'm in and yeah, what I can do over the 10K.
Adam, welcome to Burnie for the first time.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to be here. It's really nice community. So many people out here. So yeah, looking forward to tomorrow.
And you're coming off back-to-back wins. Now jumped into an Australian road racing championships. What are we expecting from you tomorrow?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's always really nice to capitalise on good form. I feel like the sport can be pretty cruel, but I'm just really looking forward to getting out on the road tomorrow. Not sure how the race is going to play out. Obviously a big out with Stewie, but yeah, it's nice to be here, and I'm just really excited to race tomorrow.
And after Burnie, where will we see you next?
I'll be racing in Noosa next weekend at the Noosa Bolt, so that's a 5K. Nice change of pace, hopefully a little bit quicker.
Yeah, great words there from Genevieve Gregson, who, of course, a former winner back in 2019, and then Adam Goddard, who had a recent victory there at the Melbourne Marathon 10K. 55,000 people part of that Melbourne Marathon Festival. Jen herself was third in the half marathon there, so we do expect both of them to perform extremely well. And Brent, how about the fact that Jen's just had her second baby in July and was then still able to run 73 minutes for a half marathon only 2 weeks ago, and it's going to come down and give it a real shot today.
It is superhuman, isn't it? You know, we're pretty spoiled what men have to go through, but to be able to do that, continually front up, and the mental and physical strength to be able to do that is just incredible.
Yeah, and she's joined on the start line by two extremely elite females. We're seeing the men's list there, and that news that we probably didn't expect to see is the one at the top of the list there, and Sam Clifford. And the audio or the graphics team didn't have enough time to update his PB, because his PB is the Australian record for 10,000 metres, and that stands at a blisteringly fast 27 minutes 34. So what you're seeing there, that's the time for Stewie McSwain, who was, of course, a late withdrawal due to a bit of sickness that he couldn't recover from. But how about that? The Burnie 10 champion of 2024 at I guess a midnight request almost, has said, yeah, I'll come down and I'll try to defend my title.
Fantastic. It's a huge coup for the event, and with the elite in there today, is it possible we could see a course record?
It could. It was perfect on the way over from Devonport today, my drive, and sat with my former coach Mike Gunson, who's done your job before in this truck, and we both sat here when Jack Rayner broke the course record of 27:43 at the time it was, and that was the record until Sam's, which has now been updated successfully there, broke that time in Japan earlier this year. It could happen. It could definitely happen. And the other one to watch will be, of course, the women's with Leanne Pompiani, last year's winner, in course record time of 31:40. Well, she's run 31:36 on the road, so no reason she couldn't knock off her own time. And with her recent top 8 performance in a major marathon of Sydney Marathon, which of course now is a world major, it'll just be a case of whether she is fast enough, because she's definitely fit enough. A half marathon, a marathon this year of high supreme elite class could see her knock her own record off. And she's joined, of course, by Gregson, which we've mentioned a few times now, and Sinead Diver, the Australian marathon record holder and former winner of this race only 2 years ago. So the women's is stacked there. Our own Ruby Smee is amongst the field there, a recent medalist in the national cross country, did a 4-year stint at the United States colleges, and was very highly performed over there at the NCAA system, and they'll be tackling the course, which we're seeing right now. And it starts just north of the intersection here at Wilson and Catley Street, just outside Intersport in Burnie. It moves south along Wilson Street, turns left, east along the Bass Highway until that 5K turning point, then returns back along the same course, and then that final dash, that right-hand turn up Wilson Street, just past Macca's, up to the finish line. And the excitement will build, Brent, as they get closer and closer to us, but we've got plenty to talk about as we're getting ready for a start.
We certainly do. So the huge notoriety, obviously, winning this race. The prize money's strong, but it's still a huge event on the Australian road race calendar, isn't it?
Absolutely. The cream of the crop of Australian distance running have come to grace the streets of Burnie, and no exception there. We see Ed Marks, who's very well performed on the domestic distance running circuit. Sam Clifford, you'd have to say would be a bit nervous. Wasn't expecting to be here, but as he's there, he knows what this is all about. It was an amazingly exciting time to see him win last year. Would have loved to have been the first ever. Stewie did it a few times before him, but to him to take it as well is it's a big thing to win a big race on your home soil. So could he do it again? And the women there, we see Bronte Oates just reaching down, stretching out the legs. Well, she's just won the City to Surf, which is one of the biggest distance races in the world. 80,000 people on the streets of Sydney, running from the city centre down to Bondi Beach. And she won that in a very impressive time over the 14-kilometre distance. So they're everywhere in there, those ones at the front of the field. And plenty of mums and dads and people just doing this as just a big, personal challenge for them as they're getting ready as well, just behind our elites.
As we spoke about earlier off air, it's a unique event, isn't it? You know, you never get to play football against professional footballers or anything like that, but so many people can test themselves today against the best of the best.
Yeah, they might think they're really fit, but they'll soon know they're perhaps not as fit as they thought when they'll see these guys almost sprint off the start line. But we do like to keep things nice and safe, as you'll see all those elites just lined up at the start, and they'll get a clean run in it. We hate to see a fall. It's a horrible thing to have a big trampling bunch of runners behind you, but these guys will get off to a quick tempo. They'll set it up nice and early, and then we'll find out who's the best on the day here at Burnie, the Australian Championship. So we will be crowning 2 Australian champions from this race today. It could be an Irishman, but of course he won't be our Australian champion. And with Brian Fay's in there, one of the fastest, or he is the fastest ever Irishman over 5,000 metres, almost under 13 minutes on the track. Third, I think, last year in this event, so we'll be there. You can see him just walking up now to the start line. We're seconds away now from a start in the Strait Link Burnie 10.
Here we go.
And they're away. So there they go. The elites are up the road. A little bit of a rise as they go up past the council chambers. The rest are all filing in behind. It's early stages, of course. The Burnie 10 is away. 3,032 entrants in all. And they're all starting to pound their way down the streets of Burnie here. Now using that little bit of a decline. We see James Hansen in the cap there at the front of the field, so he's stating his intentions nice and early. But we won't know much about this race until it really gets right into the teeth of it as they work their way down the road towards McDonald's.
Look at them go. The most frustrating thing as a very amateur runner is just how they effortlessly glide. It looks like they're putting no effort in, and it's about my sprint pace, what they're doing at the moment.
Yeah,
so it's
you might
incredible.
think that the pace they're going at now might be the pace you run in your local gym on the treadmill, but I can assure you the thing would be whirring if you were trying to keep up at this pace. Good to see a good friend of mine in the pink shorts there, Carl Adams. He's another athlete that went down the NCAA or the collegiate pathway, and Carl did ask me to send out a birthday cheerio if he got onto the footage of his brother. So happy birthday to his brother Chris, I think it was, just from memory. But Carl was an NCAA Division 2 medalist in the cross country, so he won't be without any sort of challenges or without his own chances today. But I think he just did that to get my a mention from me, Brent.
Yeah, his brother owes him a beer now, I think, or you maybe. But So Hansen out the front. Where's he stuck up amongst the favourites, Grant?
Look, he'll be a contender, definitely a 10K winner in the Launceston Running Festival, which is held around June here in Tasmania, and that again has attracted some really big elite fields, particularly the half marathon, but the 10K, James being a Launceston resident, famously won that race a couple of years ago, and he's run 28 minutes and 20 seconds for 10K's PB. So that sort of time will put you right at the pointy end today. So James is giving himself a chance by saying, right, I'm setting the pace. What can you boys do to follow? Back to the women there. We're seeing Bronte Oates in the black. our City to Surf winner, and the race record holder, defending champion Pompiani there with the sunglasses. And they're sitting in behind, looks like a male, possibly a pacemaker, in the hat there. They quite often get that luxury, the women, of having a nice, faster man who's happy to set a pace for them. But again, early days, it's they've got a few around, and that's the good thing about Burnie, just the enjoyment of it all. As they're
great to see, isn't it?
Someone's not going to get it done nice and quickly, but are going to enjoy the event today.
Exactly right. That's what it's all about. That's how it started, I guess. Was a fun run, so it's held that, it's held its character throughout the whole event.
Yeah, it has. Brian Fay starting to state his intentions. He's moved up. Geez, look at this setup. This is quite impressive.
Here we go. Maybe not the winners, but they're going to have a great day by the look of it.
Brian Fay again, just checking that watch. We would have surpassed the 1K marker. Well, we did just then. No, not sure if that's in the exact right spot. It should be. The course is officially measured. Not going super fast. Would have probably gone through in about 2:50, 2:53, looking at how Brian had a check of his watch there. So the pace is perhaps not on in the early stages. So Fay's injected a little bit of speed into the event, and it's still early days, of course. The women, Bronnie Oates leading the field, the defending champion, Leanne Pompiani in second. What a season she's having, a top 8 performance in the Sydney Marathon back in July, and then, of course, the Gold Coast Half Marathon, where she took out the Australian title there in a very fast time, under 70 minutes for the half marathon. So she'll be one to watch.
Here they go. Just give us a bit of an insight into the elite screen. Are they purely go out there and run their own race, or would Fay and Hanson at the moment, would they be sussing each other out, seeing what the pace is, what each other are going to do?
Yeah, sometimes it does depend a bit on who is training partners maybe amongst them, and I don't think Fay's got a training partner with him here today. I'm not sure of Goddard's connections, the man just sitting in second, the recent 10K winner of the Melbourne Marathon Festival there, and so he's got form in his hands. So runners do chat, they do warm up together, they discuss what sort of form or shape they might be in for the day, and there could be some chatting. As you can see, Fay just looking around him there, and looks like he's trying to get someone to take over. You can see that zigzagging that's happening, and a little bit of a laugh there. So they're just they're not doing it hard at all. I know you mentioned before about they look like they're doing it easy. Well, they are. If they can have got enough time to turn around and chat with each other, the pace is perhaps not on in the early stages. Maybe not going to see a record today. You need to be on that pace right from the get-go.
Looks like he's sort of welcoming them to sort of take hold for a while. Is that common in a race of this length, to sort of welcome the opposition to sort of take the lead for a while? Or?
Yeah, it's a long race, the 10K, and Fay looks like he's hoping to get someone to take the pace, and the man that's going to do it, he's out on a line by himself there, is Sam Clifford, who's pushing along just that shoulder of the road, and he'll perhaps, again, he's come here, well, didn't expect to run here, I guess, Sam Clifford, our last year's winner. He's turned up as a very late entrant, but certainly someone who deserves a lot of respect, but it'll work itself out. Looks like the men are going to turn into a bit of a tactical affair. It is an Australian title at the end of the day, so the first runner across the line will be the Australian champion, so perhaps that time has become less important, and it's more about who's first, second and third across the line. Fay, of course, an Irishman, so he's not eligible to be Australian champion, but he's right in the early stages with the elite field at the moment. Tom Beard, a local runner from Hobart, or a Hobart runner, is leading that next pack that includes our elite females. Leanne Pompiani, Bronte Oates were amongst them. And again, a few checks of the watch, a few runners fairly comfortable with how they're moving. 6 minutes, 10's past, the 2K was some distance back. So they're still tracking along well under 30 minutes for 10K. But fair to say that perhaps that 27.43 is not under threat today.
Very accomplished hockey player also, Tom Beard, from down south, a Canterbury legend. How many sort of cross-sport guys have we got at the moment, you reckon, in the field? Not too many, or?
It's definitely not unusual to see triathletes do a 10K, but yeah, look, a guy like Tom would have to be probably one of the fittest hockey players going around, but they are a fit athletes, as we know. They do a lot of running, so that would help him a lot. And yeah, Tom's at his best is probably right up there with those elite females, so that's not a surprise to see him finding that pace very comfortable for him, and he'll be using the form and the shape that they're in. And again, they run these races to perfection. They spread their effort out perfectly, and they they would be perfect people to run with if you're trying to run a best time. So Tom will be right there, but you're right, it is a sport you've sort of got to be pretty much a runner. You can't really be mixing two sports together too much. It's as I said before, triathlon's probably the one where you see a lot of crossover. A lot of the best triathletes in the world are very, very good over this 10K distance. I even recall a New Zealand athlete, I think it might have been Hayden Wild, when Sam Clifford set the Australian record. He was just behind Clifford and he ran under 28 minutes as a triathlete. So, yeah, you've got to be fit. You've got to be fit to be right up there with these guys at the moment. It's Brian Fay, Adam Goddard, who have stretched away now, so we could be seeing some early statements coming from our elite men, with Fay, the Irishman, out in front, and Adam Goddard in second, and then Hansen leads a pack of, looks like about 5 to 6 athletes behind him.
Absolutely flying. What mark are we at the moment, Grant? How far they come?
We would be getting closer and closer to the 3K mark for our men. So 8:18 is the record pace if you wanted to run even splits for a 27:43. So we will hopefully with this footage see something pop up on the left-hand side there of Goddard, who is now sharing a bit of the effort with Fay. But yeah, again, that time is probably past us, and I think the focus will not be on so much the time run today, but who can take out this race. So Goddard in good form, a recent win in a reasonably strong field, the 10K. Probably the half and the marathon attracts the most elite runners for Melbourne, but he knows how to win. He got across the line in first place, so he can only beat who turns up when in these races, and at the moment he just looks like a little bit of anguish on the face and a little bit of pain, but geez, you can afford him a little bit of that, can't you? It's tough going out there. You're running right on the threshold of your pain tolerance for all the way. So I think I saw 3K in the distance a little bit there, but so they are not running at record pace, but they are trying to set up a race that might suit them the best to come to the line in first place. So it's Goddard, Fay, a pack of runners behind him. We see Bronte Oates, still Pompiani there just in behind Tom Beard, who we recognised before, trying to make out who that other female might be. But still, it's 3K in for the men. The women are getting closer and closer to that mark themselves. They need to be getting there in about 9:30 to be giving Pompiani's record any sort of trouble, and that's going past now. So we have got something to watch there. The women are going fast. They're about 9:34 through 3,000. 9:30 will set you up for a 31:40. So we could be seeing them taking full advantage, the women, of these conditions. Not seeing those trees in the background, as they go along the Bass Highway, moving at all. So this is perfect for distance running in the Strait Link Burnie 10.
And what's the ideal preparation for a race like this? You've mentioned there's been a fair few big races around the country and the world in recent months. Have they tapered off the last couple of weeks, these athletes, or do they come in red hot for this?
Yeah, again, it depends on the individual athletes. Some certainly local athletes, you wouldn't want to be doing a great deal in that week leading in, just keeping the legs rolling over. But a lot of these athletes just continue their heavy training loads and maybe just take a couple of days of easier running before it. And yeah, like I said, many of these athletes, like our leader at the moment, Goddard, is a recent winner of a 10K. He's perhaps more suited to those distances, looking at his other performances, whereas other guys like marathon runners, even like Sam Clifford, who had a go at the Sydney Marathon earlier this year, the half marathon, they would do it as part of a training block. They just continue their training and just turn up for a race to see where they're at. So it does depend on the athlete, the individual. And they're still early stages. We're going to hear now from Leanne Pompiani, our race record holder, and Brian Fay, who are featuring heavily in this year's Burnie 10.
Affectionately known as the Queen of Burnie, welcome back, Leanne Pompiani.
Thank you. I'm not sure I wouldn't call myself that, but thank you. Look,
we've heard some rumours about the shape that you're in, and Jen Gregson just mentioned it. What are we expecting from you tomorrow?
When we're talking about shape, I don't actually know what shape I'm in. I'm coming off Sydney Marathon at the end of August, and I've been training well, but nothing in training, really gives us a good indication. We know what we'd like. We'd like to go for 3:08 per K tomorrow, and hopefully we'll see how I feel. If I can't do it, I know where I'm at. If I can do it, I'll still know where I'm at, and we'll just go from there.
And you mentioned Sydney. You are currently the Australian National Marathon champion. Tomorrow is the Australian National 10K Championship. Are you going to be tomorrow afternoon a dual Australian champion at the same time?
I mean, that sounds pretty good, but we don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, the win is the goal. Like, that's what we're here for. Whoever turns up on the start line is, you're there to race. And yeah, whoever wins tomorrow will be the best one on the day. But, having the 2 titles in the same year would be pretty nice.
And it's always great for us to have our course record holder back. So thank you for coming back again, Leanne, and good luck tomorrow.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
Brian Fay, your annual pilgrimage to Tasmania again.
Yeah, glad to be here, happy to be here. I feel like I was standing in the same shoes doing this interview last time with big optimism that I was going to run really well the following day, and it didn't work out last.
Brian Fay, you're
probably my first hard effort back, and you obviously are optimistic coming into it, but it just didn't work out, and now I feel like I'm in a little bit better shape, so I'm looking that I can kind of show up and withstand the early pressure, early doors with the fast pace to start with the downhill, and then be able to kind of hold it a little bit back together. Obviously tailwind coming back hopefully with the weather forecast, so hopefully I get dragged home and run something special. I think it's always so hard, like this was actually my debut road race. I'd never had ran a road race before this. When I was a schoolboy I ran a few of them, but in my professional career no, like I hadn't. So yeah, it's kind of something new for me. It's a new field, I guess, dipping my foot into a new pond, so hopefully I've have the experience from last year that I can kind of go a little bit better this year, so looking forward to it. Be good.
Well, good luck, and hopefully we see you back again next year as well.
Yeah, we'll see. If I'm here, I'll definitely come down, Thank you.
Yeah, great words there from both Leanne Pompiani and the Irishman Brian Fay as they talked about their season and how they feel about the race today, and that's translating pretty well because we're seeing Pompiani now, who's started to assert her authority on the race. In that time that we're listening into those interviews, she has now made her sort of strong move, and we did talk about the fact before that she is only a couple of seconds off her own race record, so we could be in for something pretty special here, ladies and gentlemen. Pompiani using those 2 athletes. Tom Beard, who you know, Nathan, reasonably well from your hockey endeavours, is right there, and he'll be trying to motivate Leanne as well. I'm sure he's a big fan of what she does. The men have turned in about 14:20, so we're going to see a sub 29 today. We're certainly not going to see anything like the 27:43 that Jack Rayner ran, but it's Goddard, the one that's really put the hammer down here, and he's now got another athlete we haven't mentioned much up to this point, Ed Marks, who's a 2-time medalist in the cross-country championships of Australia, so a tough athlete, and he is liking the way he's feeling at the halfway point, and he's moved right up onto the heels now of Adam Goddard. So just over 5Ks into the Strait Link Burnie 10 with our leading men, Adam Goddard, and now Ed Marks pushes himself forward as a contender. Fay's now moved back with James Hansen still leading that next pack, but Fay's amongst them with a couple of other athletes with them. I don't see Sam Clifford here, so that late decision to start, as I'm not sure he's going to regret it. He's still there. You can still see him. He's top 10, but certainly nothing like he was last year where he was just running on top of the ground. So we're about to see halfway here, women's race. So let's keep our eyes on that time. We want to see a time of around about 15:50, maybe give her a couple of seconds grace, and she could still rip home in a potential record today. So $5,000 for first across the line. That's looking pretty strong for Leanne as she's just making the turn. So this is perfect pace for our leading female, Leanne Pompiani. She turns bang on race record of pace. So Pompiani could be taking home $5,000 plus a nice little $3,000 bonus if she can get that record today. So you can see she still looks unbelievably comfortable.
Not a bead of sweat.
Absolutely flying.
The field's starting to break up a bit, as you mentioned. We've got the elites, really starting to take hold. Fay's still looking dangerous, sitting back in 5th. He almost welcomed that challenge early in the race, didn't he? Wanted him to take hold and sit back and sit pretty. Yeah,
you'd be a little bit concerned about a gap like this.
Yeah, okay.
Goddard and Marks look certainly strong. Goddard has looked a little bit under stress from the start, but that's just perhaps his expression he's got while he's running. He's just checking who it is behind. He would know Ed Marks pretty well. They're both Victorians, I believe. So, and again, looks like a little bit of pace sharing here as we see Marks just move past. The shoulders glance, nothing untoward there. They just there's not much to gain from getting coverage from runners behind. It's more just that mental feeling of someone else doing work in front of you. You don't get much of a windbreak, not like a cycling race where you can sit right in and get a bit of a wind sort of suck in, a vacuum effect, but it does make things feel mentally a bit easier to run behind someone. So Ed Marks has taken the lead, but Goddard, I think, was more than happy for that to happen, and he's still right there. There's no gap at all, as you can see them almost running on each other's heels. And Pompiani, well, she's just sitting in behind that very, very nice male runner who looks like he's doing a job for Pompiani. Hopper, his name, not one of our elites, but that's his family name at least. We know that, and we do know Tom Beard really well, as he's in the glasses there in the black uniform. And he'd be either trying to use Pompiani because he knows that she's running around about race record, and that might be close to what he wants to run today. But I'm sure as a really, really good mannered athlete as Tom is, he'll be trying to encourage her as best he can as well. So this could be something special in the females. We might be seeing a really, really good performance from a really top athlete at the moment. One is in an amazing purple patch of form, Leanne Pompiani.
She's well clear of the rest of the female field, isn't she, at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not much of a race really as far as line honours and Australian titles for Leanne, but the men's could be still interesting. We did see a similar thing to this last year. We saw Sam Clifford and Isaac Hayne, two very, very exciting young athletes. Well, obviously Clifford has gone on to do amazing things from that performance last year and setting Australian records and things, but this was similar the way it played out last year. They were pretty much this close to each other, and then Clifford was the one that did that big move. So one of these two men, I'd probably say Marks certainly looks the more comfortable, just in expressions. He looks like he's doing this quite easily, and we're seeing split times come up there. There was a bonus as well, Nathan, for at the turn in first. So Goddard is going to collect a $500 bonus. $500 bonus for being first at the turn. Needs to finish, which looks like he definitely will, but
sure,
you don't want to be just going out there and running for the 5k bonus. Not that it's easy to do that against these guys, but you do need to finish. So seeing the start now of the Elphingston Group 5k event. I think probably a bit over 10 years old, this event, so it's always just been the Burnie 10. It was for many, many years, and it's since it started in 1985, but this event has really drawn a lot of people to be part of the whole festival, if you want to call it, and a very relatable distance too, because park run, every Saturday morning these guys probably are out there having a go at their local park run, so why not do it at a big event with some music and nice bibs and people on the sidelines cheering you on. It may not happen at park run every Saturday.
Exactly right. It's a great event. All about participation. So many locals out there having a go. It's fantastic to see.
It is. Pompiani's time at the halfway, 15:46. So we are on for a record. It's we needed to see 15:50, and 15:46 suggests that she is in the shape to potentially knock off that time and even probably beat her own personal best time on the road, which is 31:36. So that was done in Japan in May. And we may see that time get eclipsed. We're not going to see any records in the men's today. They're just not running at that speed. But we are seeing a nice battle between two emerging distance runners in Australia, and that's Ed Marks and Goddard, who are both checking around just to see who might be threatening their lead or threatening their chance at the title in 2025, the Australian Road Running Championship. But again, we do get a bit of this, Nathan. It's hard because you don't see many other people when they get these guys to stretch out, or in this case the female. We're only talking about a couple of athletes because our footage, well, we do see Faye there in the background. He's still finding a little bit again. He's probably going to hold on for third, but looking to get some cash for himself to take home. He does spend a lot of time in Australia training, so I'm not sure he's necessarily flown all the way over from Ireland for this, but he does spend a lot of time training with I believe the Melbourne Track Club, which is a really, really strong training group in Victoria. So Faye still third. Goddard is now taking that pace again, so you can definitely see an agreed upon pace sharing between these two. But my pick, and I may be proven wrong here, I think Ed Marks, who's wearing that Glenn Huntley singlet, a very big club and famous club in Melbourne, he's my pick at this stage. He looks the more comfortable. He looks like he might have something when they make the big turn for that last 550 metres up Wilson Street. But Pompiani's still on record pace. We will try our best to get another K marker somewhere, and we'll be able to get you informed of how she's going. But look at that, she's just cruising along. Doesn't look hard, doesn't look stressed at all. Nothing's really changed in her running. The facial expression, she's looking comfortable.
She's absolutely flying. Would is Mark's a stronger finisher traditionally, or are you just gauging off the look of him at the moment? You think he'll finish stronger?
Yeah, don't know much about Goddard, to be honest, other than what he did a couple of weeks ago, and he's got a few other times of note. He was a very good 1,500 metres early in the year at 3:38, so that needs to be respected, and that could be something that he calls on. I'm not sure Ed Marks has ever run that fast, so I think perhaps the best tactic for Ed Marks, if he believes he's going to win this Australian Championship, he'll need to do something before the big sprint for home. I reckon Goddard, if he's not too stressed and too tired from what he's done so far, has got that extra speed. 3:38 for 1,500 is really going on the track. It's putting you in that top sort of 10 to 15 athletes in Australia over the 1,500 metre distance, so he may need to call on that, and probably can call on that when he needs to, for the last half a K or a little bit more up Wilson Street. So I reckon it'll be a really good battle between these two. Both don't think they're under much threat for anyone else. You can see them almost out of shot now, those guys behind. They would be at least 30 metres behind. They'd have to do something pretty amazing, but no doubt about Pompiani. She's going to be a very, very strong and comfortable winner of the Australian title, but the real big interest will be, can she knock off that course record that she famously took last year, 31 minutes 40. She is under that pace at the moment.
It'd be great to see. As you mentioned, Faye's in the distance now, so it looks like it's going to be one of the two here. Marks have got her to take it. Going to be a hell of a finish.
Yeah, and you can definitely see from front on sometimes, just how comfortable runners look. They don't change in their running style, whereas you can see Faye now, that rocking, he's rocking a bit side to side. He's looking a little bit distressed. He's just showing signs, but again, he I guess we can't completely rule him out. He has run almost under 13 minutes for 5,000, so this pace is not an unfamiliar one for him. It would actually be feel quite slow, but it's just that build-up of pain, the accumulation as they go through it. So Pompiani's still very, very comfortable, or very happy to have those two very strong male runners on her shoulders, and they'll be trying to encourage her as they just go past the Emu Bridge there, just left us the township of Wivenhoe, where I grew up, actually, Brent, Wivenhoe primary student, so know that particular bridge pretty well, and just going past the turn off there to Fern Glade on their left-hand side. So it's really, they're getting into that back end of the race now, and Pompiani looking great. Good to see a bit of entertainment there on the side, the bagpipes. That'll nice bit of possibly motivation. I'm not sure that'd be the sort of stuff they'd like to be listening to, but still, it's good to see people out on the street. Look at them all there on the middle of the road there. It's getting the roads shut here, or the whole side of one, the Bass Highway shut, has made it a really good experience, and elites and not so elites are seeing each other now as they go up and down the road.
Perfect. Looks like Faye's recognised it's sort of his time to have a shot now. He has closed that gap a little bit. He's coming. Do you think he can rein him in?
He could. They're about to tackle, I think, a little bit of a rise here, so they're not too far away, ladies and gentlemen. Probably a little more than 3 minutes. I think the last check they were on about 28.5 pace, so they will be starting to make that little bit of a climb over that hill shortly. They're not too far away, just leaving South Burnie there in the background, but Faye, you'd think, would have to make contact pretty soon if he's going to push to try and take line honours. Can't be Australian champion, we mentioned that. He is Irish, but he could still take home the $5,000, and that might be something that's ticking away in his brain, thinking, I'll make my move to try and grab the cash. Beard now, just taking a bit of pace for Pompiani. He's obviously feeling good. He's trying to keep pushing her. 9k passes in 25.50. So yeah, well, about a minute outside that record. We can leave that one in the back burners now. That's not going to happen today, of course. Marks, I think, again, he still looks the best for me. Goddard, he's stressed. He's really fighting hard to stay there, but he's not going away, so you never know. He could be a chance. And Faye, your man, Nathan, he's starting to move forward. You never know. He could be a chance. A good friend of mine there, Thomas Wilson, I think. Not sure if he's in the 5K. I didn't see him. So perhaps he is a 5K entrant who's joined in, or he's just made a big move up into the 10K. The bibs look similar, so perhaps Thomas Wilson, again, out of sight for ages. He's just jumped in to join in and do a little bit of help as well. So, not sure what happened there. I didn't even see him up until this point. He's just appeared out of nowhere. So,
I think that could be. Goddard sort of looked like that since K1. I think that may be just his expression. He seems to be working hard, but he hasn't let up at all. He's still coming. So,
well, this is the time to do it. If he's got something, he's got to push it hard now. God, geez, Marks just looks a great athlete. He just looks so comfortable, but whatever gets the job done. And at the moment, Marks is looking back. Is this the move? Is he trying to use that bit of a hill run, perhaps off the hill, go down the climb? But here comes Goddard again. So the Australian title is well and truly up for grabs. He's checking behind, but I don't think he needs to worry too much about Brian Fay. He's probably not totally out of it, the Irishman, but I'd probably say that gap's at least 30 metres. So
comfortably.
Goddard again goes to the front. So you're right, Nathan. He looks tired. He looks anguished. He looks a little bit distressed, but he's still there. It's Goddard and Marks making the turn. It's 550 metres now, the run to home.
Here we go.
Past Macca's on their left. It's Goddard who's putting in the pace now. So those 1,500 metre legs of 3:38 are really starting to pay for him now. You can see he's picked up the pace, the tempo. He's checking over his shoulder. Marks is still confident. He's right on the heels here. This could be a really good race to the line here. This is for the Australian Championship, ladies and gentlemen. It's Adam Goddard, Ed Marks fighting it out down the road. This is going to be a really close contest between two really good young emerging distance runners. Fay's definitely going to hold on for third, but he's not going to threaten these two. They're flying down the road here. We're seeing Brian Fay, but it's definitely between the two. It's Marks and Adam Goddard. They've got the young man there, Adam Goddard.
He's coming strong.
What a run.
He wants the crowd to get involved. There we go.
Absolutely. And this would be a great thing for him. An Australian title to Adam Goddard. There it is.
Incredible achievement.
Ed Marks into second. He just looked a better athlete all the way, but he just couldn't get past Adam Goddard. So he is your Strait Link Burnie 10 champion. Brian Fay takes third. He'll get $1,000 for his work. The bronze medalist, I think this will be. I just couldn't quite catch this guy's name as they were going down the road. He's going to get third across the line. Looks like we're getting a bit of a split screen here, so we may have to find out who that athlete is after the fact. But Leanne Pompiani now takes our interest. We are still seeing the top five men down the line. It's James Hansen, I think, just flashed past me on my left there. There he is, James Hansen, a real great performance in the Tasmanian. Sam Clifford, the other Tasmanian, just behind. So that's your top five. Tassie have got two athletes in the top five. That's not happened for a long time, I don't think. So well done to those two. And they're still flying down the road here. I'm not sure we're trying to catch the runners. But here's another big interest, ladies and gentlemen. The excitement of that men's race is gone now. And we're seeing Leanne Pompiani with another Tasmanian, Tom Beard, trying to get her up over that hill. She's been on the record pace from K number 1 right through to about K7 or 8. Is she still going that fast? She was just under at halfway. Tom Beard has got her up over that hill, and he'll try to push her all the way up the road. It's Leanne Pompiani who is on record pace. Could we see a race record? It took so many years. 1999 was the race record held by Kylie Risk, and it took that long until 2024 for this lady, Leanne Pompiani, from the ACT to knock it off. Could she do it again? 2 records in 2 years. Could it happen? Pompiani just trying to get herself together for that last big run up the road. The top males are still coming down Wilson Street, but it's Pompiani the real focus now. Could we see a race record here? 500 metres to go. A little over a minute to get that done. I'm not sure it's going to happen. She's probably lost a little bit in the last K or so. What can we do here? There's about a minute left for running for her to try to knock off that record. She's driving the arms back. Beard has run a little bit away from her, so she might be able to try to get onto him again to try and get that record. Could we get it here in Burnie, ladies and gentlemen? It's about 40 seconds to go for her to knock off the record from last year. 31 minutes 40 is the time we need her to get under. She's on 31.05 now. She's about to get past the council chambers on her left. Could this happen? Again, 2 times in 2 years. Leanne Pompiani, she's now getting a little closer to Tom Beard. So are we seeing a real sprint for home? 20 seconds to go for Leanne Pompiani. What a performance, what a season she's had. Will she get it? Looks like it might be just outside of it. She's really raising her effort again here. Beard's trying to get over the line a bit faster. 31, 33, 34. It could happen. It still could happen, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be desperately close. I think maybe just falls short. Look, official times will come through. It's 31:44. Again, not official. Sometimes, start times and things can be calculated to bring a couple of seconds into it, but I think we might have just seen her miss it. But what a performance. Leanne Pompiani, she has beaten the next athlete by quite some margin.
Incredible effort to go that close, especially after she's had the women's race run for about 6K. So to push yourself like that and almost get there, incredible performance.
Absolutely. So that's your Australian champion of 2025, Leanne Pompiani. We've seen the men's, of course, taken out by Adam Goddard with Ed Marks third. I'll get that name to you as soon as I can be given it. We're seeing Bronte Oates, the City to Surf winner of 2025. Certainly would have had a lot more crowd on that occasion to bring her home, but this is quite a performance. Great to see Bronte Oates, a real emerging young distance runner, still quite young, still only 21 years of age. So Bronte Oates takes second place, the silver medal in the Australian Championships. And Holly Campbell, that is, the Sydney Olympic Park 10K winner, she's going to come through for third. So she gets a bronze medal as the third place Australian female in the Strait Link Burnie 10. Phil McConnon, a local runner from Hobart area, he comes through in just over 33 minutes. There's Sinead Diver, the Australian marathon record holder, coming through, former winner of the event. She'll perform extremely well again here at Burnie and run just a shade over 33:20. You can see Charles Gunn there from Newstead. That's that runner. For some reason, I don't know why I forgot his name again. Jen Gregson coming through now, former winner, and an amazing performance to see her still running so well. Only a baby in July, so a second baby, and certainly a 4-time Olympian, deserves all sorts of respect for being here. The first Tasmanian across the line, Ruby Smee, comes through there. So a good performance from her. She'll take a $500. Good friend of mine, Angus Sonecki, through the line there just behind her. And this is what it's all about now. The more local athletes, these are still extremely good performances and times. Anything under 35 minutes, you're at the pointy end of most distance races. The most times ever someone's been the first Tasmanian across the line. This is Grant Page coming through here in the black. So Grant has been one of the best performers in the Burnie 10 over many, many years. Age has probably caught up with him a little bit, but still, what a time. 34 minutes 23 for Pagey. And he loves Burnie, keeps coming back every year, and a solid performance for him.
As you say, it's still an incredible achievement. Sub 35 10K, that's really moving. It's the best of the best. So we're calling, where did Goddard rank coming into today, Grant? Are we calling that a bit of an upset, or was he right in your thoughts?
Yeah, perhaps so. That definitely the recent win at Melbourne would have raised a few people's eyebrows. I think we're starting to see maybe the 5K coming through. I just saw James Frankham going past, and he's sprinting down the road here. You can see that runner with the blonde hair. He's going to come through and be our 5K winner from the young athlete Cameron Bodner. So that's a good run from both of those. But look, Goddard's a group of a lot of athletes at the moment, the new generation, hopefully maybe even our Brisbane Olympians. We're talking still 7 years away, so if you're 21, 22 and you're running very well at this level already, that would be a real goal for them. So perhaps Goddard might be a name that we see pulling on the green and gold for Australia in Brisbane Olympics. It certainly won't be something that many, many others will be trying to make as well, being a home Olympics, but yeah, it is a significant performance for him, and what a month he's had. A win over the 10K in Melbourne, in the I think the Nike Melbourne 10K, and then it comes down to take the Australian Championship. So he'll go home a very, very happy man from today.
Fantastic achievement. And how much a race like this would you say mental prep comes into it? We talked about Sam Clifford early, didn't feature at the pointy end today. Would it be late entry, tough to get up for? Or
I think so. I think if Sam had set himself specifically for this race and knew he was doing it a month out, he would have tailored his training to get ready for it. So don't worry about Sam. He'll be back better than ever. Perhaps even here again next year or whatever races he's got coming up. There is a big World Cross Country trials coming up soon, and I expect Sam to hopefully put himself forward for selection for that. They're going to travel across the United States to contest as a team of 6 Australian athletes. I would think, given Sam's form in the last 12 to 18 months, he would be a massive chance for that team, along with many of these other athletes here. So there's lots of pathways for them now. There's Commonwealth Games coming up next year. There is going to be a Commonwealth Games for athletics. It's going to be a modified games, very much reduced. It was supposed to be in Melbourne, but we decided we couldn't do it, so we've given it up to somebody else, and that'll be a real target for a lot of Australian athletes to try and make that team. Pretty certain we're seeing a fairly distressed but should be pretty happy women's 5K winner. That's Darcy Miller there. I know Darcy pretty well. Used to train with her in Devonport, so I think she's taken out the Elphinstone Group 5K for females. And we saw James Frankham get across the line in first place in the males event. But this is the fun part about the Burnie 10 now. The people that have set themselves a goal, a real target, maybe 38 minutes for some of these guys coming up. It could be 40 minutes. It's a real goal for a lot of athletes or a lot of people who just get into running and really enjoy it and do it, almost every day as their physical exercise. So 40 minutes really is a good indicator for a lot of people and a real goal for a lot of them out there. So we'll see a lot of happiness, I'm sure, as some people come through in 38, 39 minutes or even just under 40.
As you say, we're starting to see a few of the locals, local footballers and a few others cross the line now, which is really good to see. Still, as you mentioned, sub 40, fantastic achievement over 10Ks.
Yeah, lots of big teams as too, lots of fitness groups and people involved with clubs and schools. There's a lot of really big schools team. I think Wynyard High School had an enormous amount of entrants across the 5 or 10K, even Maris College as well. I'm sure Burnie High, our old schoolmate, would have had a few turn up to race, as they're a very, very well performed school in sports and athletics and swimming and stuff. But yeah, it's really enjoyment now. We've seen those real elites go through the line and do what they do best, and now we're seeing all the people, those 3,000 and a little bit more, 3,032 entrants enjoying their Burnie 10. So hopefully they're all getting some good times. The conditions couldn't have been any better out there, so hopefully they're all getting some big PBs here as the people are crossing the line.
Yeah, there's a few distressed people on the finish line there. As you say, you pushed themselves to the physical limit today. It's incredible achievement what the body can do, but yeah, tough day. And
it'll be a real highlight. I hope the coverage is still going when your good mate
the Baron.
Nathan, the Baron from the Baron Files is out there. He'll be doing it pretty tough. He's got to push his little girl Evie, but
I'm not sure we can keep the road closed till Tuesday when he finishes, but we'll see how we go.
No doubt he'll be running with a lot of purpose out there, though. He'll be trying to make this experience as enjoyable as possible for his little girl Evie, who does suffer with CP, cerebral palsy, and we know that battle would be a very tough one for him and his family, but he's trying to make the most of a great experience, which will be the Burnie 10.
Exactly right. Derek Henry, another local runner there, about to cross the line, coming through strong.
Yep, the Sprayton Primary School PE teacher and pretty handy hockey player. Do like to see the first pram go through. I reckon that might have been the first pram I've seen, unless there was someone in between some of the times that we didn't see the footage, but that's a fair run with a pram, 39.50.
That's very good going.
See our Tasmanian Road Runners Angels, we call them. The guys have got the flags up behind them. They go out there and they run bang on the pace that their flag indicates. So we just saw the 40-minute guy go through then. So if you were running with him the whole way and you just got yourself past him or finished right in with him, you might have just got yourself that 40-minute 10K. We will see a 45, maybe a 50, and even some slower ones as well. So for people who don't know running really well and don't understand their own pace and effort, sometimes running with those people are the best thing you can hope to do, and it's going to set yourself up for a really good performance. But here they come, coming through one at a time. We'll see some red bibs mixed in amongst them. They are our 5K entrants. Young Libby Crispin is a former Northwest Coaster. She's now based in Hobart. She's come through in the 5K. She's right up there in the top few for the women's, and red and looks like the dark blue bib of the Strait Link Burnie 10 are coming through the line now. So great performances. 41 minutes is ticking over now. So, oh, geez, I tell you, there's a young man there running a decent time for 10K. He looks like he's probably only about 10 or 12 years old. So that's Good sign there. He's
and not too distressed at all. Just moseyed on over the line.
Yeah, easy does it, Dad. The first time I ever did this Burnie 10 race, I might have been in grade 6, I reckon, but 1990. Wow. So I wasn't here for the first one, Brent, but I was, I really enjoyed the event, being a local resident, and what an amazing thing it is to continue all this time. 41 editions this is in the Burnie 10.
Brilliant, isn't it? We've seen this week an article in the local paper. There's 3 or 4 entrants. Michael Bates, one of them, has completed every Burnie 10 so far, which is an awesome achievement. Yeah,
he was joined by 4 others. We sadly lost, I think it was Ken Williams earlier this year. He was one of the 5 amazing athletes that have done the 41, and Ron Checker, another one who we lost some years ago. And I do believe that Jared Leary, and Marianne's brother, Michael Bates, are out there to do their 41st Burnie 10. So there'll be 3 legends, if you want to call them that have done every single Burnie 10. So that's an amazing effort. I'll see if I can spot them out there anywhere. I do know Jared pretty well. He's mixed in with a lot of athletics events over the years, the Burnie Athletic Club being one of them, where we see them host the New Year's Eve sports every year, and Jared's a big part of that, and but does love his distance running. So we'll try to spot Jared out there along with Marianne and also Michael, who will be completing 41 Burnie 10s.
Outstanding achievement. A few more prams coming across the line now. That is an incredible effort to push a pram like that. That distance and that at that pace, that's an awesome achievement.
Someone's got the Burnie Dockers top on there in the background, I saw, so a bit of sporting flavour there. A lot of footy clubs and teams like to use something like this as a bit of a sign of how their fitness or their training, their pre-season's been going, or at least the start of it perhaps for some.
Ideal preparation.
There is a little bit of official part of this day, of course. We're lucky enough at the moment to be right in front of the TV trucks. The Australian champion is Adam Goddard, who's on the phone chatting away to people back in Victoria, talking about what a great race it was today, and perhaps how proud he is to be the Australian champion. He is the Australian road running 10K champion, and that's something he can say for the rest of his life. So well done to Adam, and also well done to our winner, Leanne Pompiani, just short of the race record. She is the Australian champion, a 2-time winner of the Burnie 10 now, race record holder, and probably now holds the 1st and 3rd best times ever for the Burnie 10. So certainly a day mixed in with lots of elite running, and lots of class, and now we're seeing the really enjoyable part of the day. The entrants, the people that just love the event, want to be part of it, are coming through and completing their 10K. 45 minutes will tick over soon. We will see another one of those road angels coming up soon, Brent, to hopefully help those people in 45 minutes.
How tough is it to go out there and do that? Obviously they're guided by watching what they do, but I think wouldn't be the easiest thing just to go at that pace for that entire time, surely?
Yeah, generally they try to pick people who could do it quite easily, so they're running well below their best. Yeah, okay. You don't want to be saying, well, 45 might be a PB time for me, and then you're there for a job, or it's just a helper. They're a great group, the Tasmanian Road Runners. They help as many people as they can. They encourage participation in running, recreational, fitness, events, everything, and so they just do it as a favour. There's no payment, no anything like that in it. They just do it to help people enjoy their running, because it can be hard to get it right. And there we see 45-minute Road Angel did it in about 44.50. So anyone that ran with that young man would have ran a nice 45-minute 10K. So you will see them a lot. The marathon championships in Hobart every year, they'll have plenty of those, because that's a really tough thing to do, a marathon or a half marathon. So they'll be mixed in that in a lot of capacities, a lot of times and different categories. But people have set themselves for a long time. You certainly want to be putting some training in to still run 45 minutes. You can't just sort of roll out of bed one day and say, I'll run the Burnie 10 and run a time like this. It still requires a lot of dedicated training. Probably every second day, every day, maybe a couple of days off a week, and maybe a few park runs as part of your build up to it, and great to see them crossing the line. We are seeing lots of red bibs as well. That's our 5K runners, so they might be using this as a bit of a lead into next year. They might try and tackle the full 10K. Geez, Wayne Tippett's there. That's the runner in shot. He's done plenty of Burnie 10s in his time, I can tell you that. He's a regular competitor in Masters events, and he loves the Burnie 10, so great to see him out there. I don't reckon he's done 41 of them, but he wouldn't be far off it.
Seen a lot of local park runners crossing the line now. A lot of locals we see out pounding the pavement regularly. So, as you say, awesome event for Burnie, and it's great to see so many people involved.
Park runs are littered all the way across Tasmania now. They're the Burnie, Devonport, probably a couple in Hobart and Launceston, the bigger ones, but they are spreading wide and far now. And I haven't checked last time how many there are in Australia and certainly worldwide, but they are the big thing that's really generated a big resurgence of fun runners as well. I thought it might have had the effect of retracting from it, but I think they like the fact that they can handle that 5K every Saturday, and they think, well, why not do this as a point of difference? Because running at these events is definitely different to a park run. You're getting all this event sort of atmosphere and energy from the crowd. You're getting lots of people coming along to watch, and maybe you're trying to raise some money for some charity as well, all those types of things. So definitely worth including into the calendars of any keen runners to do a fun run like this one whenever you get the opportunity. And this Burnie 10 is growing again in popularity. Yes, we have seen 4,500 people before run the Burnie 10, but great to see 3,000 again in 2025. The first time we've had over 3,000 since 2014. So it's building. It's really gaining interest and popularity again. So great effort from everyone who signed up, and more importantly, actually ran and completed the race. So well done.
Outstanding achievement. A few more prams. People would have done it tough, but great to see. Really.
Did Nathan have a goal time, or was just get the race done, or did he think what he might be able to roll the pram over the line? Do you think the pram's still moving? That's the more important thing.
I reckon he's stopped at McDonald's on the way out, and I don't reckon he's left, but we'll see. It'll be very, very interesting to see what time he can do it in. I stirred him up a bit about his training, and he said the other day, I went for a 3K walk the other day. I said, mate, you want to do a little bit more than that, I think.
And tell us a bit about your podcast. How do people log on and listen to it and enjoy the content?
All the platforms, so Spotify, Podbean, anything you use, you can find it. YouTube. Nathan's he's the social media whiz. I'm just there to provide a bit of support and help him out. But it's a bit of fun, mate. Just two good friends that had a bit of fun with something, and I guess sort of taken off, you'd say. So but it's an ideal chance. We just enjoy being able to catch up. Times these days you just don't get to see people like you did. Kids, work, it's a busy life. So.
And in the history of it so far, who are some of the people that you've really had on there and proud to have talked to, perhaps, or is it just you two?
It's pretty much just us two talking garbage and sharing a bit about our lives. But we're about to kick into. We've got some pretty exciting special guests coming up in the next 2 to 3 months. So we want to sort of pivot and do a little bit more of that. So we're getting excited about where it's going to for sure.
Oh, that's good. So just find the Barron Files as you'd expect it to be spelled on any of those platforms, and enjoy both Brendan and Nathan as they'll entertain you. Sure. What sort of time length normally? Around the 50 minutes an hour?
Yeah, around the standard. Probably wouldn't listen to it in the car with your children if they were under 18. Just a
little bit of colourful language, perhaps there.
We get a bit excited.
No, but there's something for everyone in the world of podcasts now. So that's a great venture that you're both involved with, and all the best with it as well. And hope you've enjoyed the live stream today. It's been pretty exciting. You've got a chance to see some real elite sport here, some really top line athletes fly along the road, haven't you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's been the women's. It was almost see that record. That was a really exciting finish. It would have been great. 2 or 3 seconds. She was almost there. But
you might have to have a chat to Beardy next time and say, what happened, mate? You let her down. She's he cost her $3,000.
Mate, I've not seen him for years. I played a state hockey team with him once, and I tell you what, I think we were nearly home by the time he finished doing the beep test. we went and had lunch, and he was still going. Yeah, incredible performance.
No, it's a great atmosphere and a really good vibe here at Burnie. People are finished for some time now. Some of the faster athletes, and they're just enjoying each other's company. It's a really good chance for a lot of these athletes who might be from different states to catch up, and definitely once all the seriousness of the battle of running down the roads is over, a lot of them you'll see maybe 3, 4, even 5 kilometre cool down sort of jogs, which is hard to believe when they've just exerted themselves so much. They'll be enjoying each other's company. They'll be having a good chat and talking about what's coming up and what their goals are and what's going on in their lives and stuff. So it's a really great sport running in that for that. You can spend a lot of time with each other to chat, and again, with the fitness level some of these guys have got, they can they can jog and talk at the same time and have a full-on conversation. They could probably do a podcast while they're talking. That's how fit some of these guys are while they jog. So,
well, I'm exhausted watching them. In my current fitness level, I don't reckon I can drive 10k at the moment.
Another Pram performance here, around 51 minutes. That's a fair effort. He's
really strong.
Enjoyed his little race there. May have had a little snooze along the way. Yeah, some really, really good performances out there. Certainly the elites took our eye for most of this broadcast so far, but it is really good sights to see people happy to have finished their Burnie 10k, the Strait Link Burnie 10 or the Elphingston 5k. We have still got one more event to go, that being the Live Eat 800 metre kids dash. So that's I think a real smart move from the organisers to push it right back in the program. So lots of the parents that might be out here can maybe cool off a little bit, get hydrated, and go out there and enjoy the 800 metre dash down Wilson Street and back up again with their kids. So that'll be a great thing for the youngsters to enjoy, and certainly our locals will be setting their sights towards the 3-2-1 go coming up in a couple of weeks too. That's a Sunday, the 16th of November, I think, here at the West Park Oval. So that'll be something for our younger athletes. So plenty to do for kids, for their exercise and their well-being, and that'll be coming up in a couple of weeks. And that event, along with this and those New Year's Eve sports, is part of that Burnie New Year's Eve, I think, or Burnie Athletic Club events, and they do a great job of all three of them.
They certainly do. So what's next on the calendar for our professional runners today, Grant? What do they look to now? What's the next main event?
Definitely in the 10k space. The next most significant race would have to be the Zatopek 10,000 metre championships, early December. That's on the track, on the athletics track. So that'll be something where your likes of Sam Clifford, maybe Stewie McSwain, who wasn't able to run today, may set themselves for that, and definitely any of the top half marathoners, 10k runners, the ones that weren't here, will all be setting themselves for that. Some athletes have a preference for the road. They don't like to go to the track so much, but it's not unusual to see them doing both, going from one to the other. So that'll happen in Melbourne at the Lakeside Stadium, just obviously the track that's inside where all the Formula Ones zip around the track there at Albert Park. And that's not that far away really. It's only 5 or 6 weeks away. So athletes will probably be changing their shoes a little bit from the fast super shoes that they're all running around in now to the spikes. They'll have to put them on to get around that synthetic track as fast as possible. So that'll be interesting. So we do have an Australian champion today in the 10k on the road, but we'll have one on the track in less than about 6 or 7 weeks' time.
Fantastic. And the technology in that space, as you touched on with shoes, is incredible. I know there's some Nike runs, some that are not permitted in races. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think if they can engineer something that allows us to move quicker, it should be all go? Or do you believe that there is a cut-off point for what should be allowed?
Well, I think World Athletics have tried to bring in some certain levels or parameters that are acceptable, so that every shoe company now has to pass through a group or a bunch of judges to make sure that they're not, assisting the athlete too much. But the more important thing after that's done is that everyone's given equal opportunity to access those shoes. So if you're a Nike wearer, you can grab those. Sometimes athletes are forced to wear a shoe based on sponsorship. So it could be New Balance, could be Asics, could be Nike. There's heaps of other brands on running, all sorts of things. But every one of those shoe companies now are keeping up with each other with technology, trying to make sure that they're doing as good as perhaps Nike, which is probably the most famous brand or the most popular. But yeah, look, some of the older generation, which I'm probably a little bit in that, and then the older than me even, believe it's, maybe, I'm not saying integrity maybe has gone a bit because some of those times that were set weren't done in those shoes, and now they are in those shoes. But the fact is they're all running in them now, so it's not changing who wins the races. We might be seeing times that are faster or a bit surprising, but it doesn't mean that you're still not the best runner on the day, so to speak. So
still an even playing field.
Yeah. Maybe seeing some people taking an opportunity to get behind our event board there.
There's our top three, but it's not.
No, it's not quite. No, just a couple of blokes that really enjoyed the race, a couple of mates.
Good on them.
And that'll certainly take an important place very shortly, because the presentations will be done up on that stage, and we'll be able to not only give away a fair chunk of prize money for our winners today, but also crown the Australian champions. So first time ever we're going to do that here in Burnie, so hopefully the crowds hang around and celebrate some great performances today for those those top elite athletes that we do see come to Burnie every year.
I can just see those guys putting the photo up on the wall and telling their grandkids in 30 years that they did win the Burnie 10. But,
It's hard to convince younger people who never saw you run that you actually were a runner. I've certainly stacked on some kilos since I gave up the sport, so it can be a bit of a shock to people to find out that you're a half-decent distance runner, or you did some things of note when you were younger. But
so what was your best if you were in your prime, Grant? What would you be doing the 10?
I wouldn't have been troubling the top females today, mate. I would have been probably a man about the 50th across the line mark, 34 minutes, something like that. But I just love the sport. I've loved it since I started doing it. I've tried to be the best I could, but I can enjoy the sport from this position a lot. I get the real privilege to call some really top races. I've done lots of national championships on the track and the big meets around Australia, the pro running meets as well. These races, the fun runs. So I get my real enjoyment out of that now, and happily retired. I'm not keen to make some sort of crazy comeback. It's just an enjoyable sport to watch and follow and entertain people about. So you obviously made some pretty good connections. You've called home, most of the runners today. You've known a fair few people within the race,
I do. And some of when I was still running, and I just love seeing guys and girls that I train with, get PBs or, achieve something they never had before. That's a great thing about the sport of running. It is a great test of you, because you ran this race, for example, a year ago, and you've done all this training, and you've set yourself to try and run faster at the same course, the same place. Maybe the conditions are similar. Can you go faster? Can you get better? So that's why so many of them out there, stopping the watches and checking them so much throughout the race. They will get an official time today. They don't need to time themselves, but they've used that to guide them through the race. And we're seeing, look, under an hour, fair play to these people. They're not walking the whole way, I can assure you of that. They are jogging, maybe having a few walk breaks, but you've got to be moving. Oh, wait a minute, someone's the cameras still got their bib on though. That's important thing. It's not quite on the place it's supposed to be, but maybe proud of the weight loss that he's enjoyed in the last time. I'm not sure not probably legally okay, but race organisers might frown upon it a little bit. But
as long as he doesn't take any more gear off until he finishes, hopefully. But
they normally say if you've got it, flaunt it. I'm not sure he's quite got it, that guy, but that's all good, mate. He's great to see him out there. He's got some. I had the sun. He thought he might have had the phone there to enjoy some tunes, but. Look, I don't think he really bothers what people think about him, to be honest. He's happy
still got his hat on. He's still dressed.
Absolutely. Yeah, well done.
Good on him.
He looks a bit big too. I might say some nice things about him.
Is that door locked?
yeah, absolutely. Great times out there. Kids, mums, dads, probably some older athletes out there too. We do see some amazing performances from our older athletes. They've run all their lives and they just continue to do it. And I think I saw an 87-year-old man at the Melbourne Marathon do the half marathon. He got the biggest cheer possible when he ran into the MCG to finish. So
imagine what a special moment that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's gone viral, so to speak. You know all about that world, and just seeing a guy still able to do something that amazing, which a large percentage of the population can't do a half marathon. I can assure you of that.
A quarter of his age.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is a sport, and again. Talking of super shoes, it seems to be they are helping a lot of people run for longer too. I pretty much gave up the sport just before they really took hold. And look, it was for me, it was just injuries. I just kept getting small niggles, calves, knees were just painful all the time. But apparently these shoes are amazing in their help in being able to manage training and races and get it. Like I'd run something like this, and then 3 days later I'd still be in horrible amounts of pain, post-race, whereas apparently now the shoes got the effect of that not being the case. They're so shock-absorbing.
If they can take that distress away from your body and help recovery, it's certainly a good thing for sure.
Keeping people in the sport for longer, so there's some great things about them. Look, I don't want anyone to think that I don't think they're a good thing, but
keep people healthy.
Yeah, so we're about an hour since we saw the start, and it won't be too far away till we probably start to sign off, I reckon, Nathan, and maybe get out there and enjoy everyone's company that's listened to us on the screen, so maybe watch us along the way, and we hope you back at home have enjoyed the 2025 Strait Link Burnie 10. We've crowned some Australian champions today. It's Leanne Pompiani, the women's. It was Matthew Goddard in the men's. Adam Goddard, I apologise, in the men's. They are our Australian champions of 2025 here from Burnie. And on behalf of myself and Brent, we're going to say a goodbye to everyone as we're seeing our two winners through the line here. What a performance it was. What a moment it was for Adam Goddard. He will be an Australian champion for the rest of his life and for all time. And then, of course, just as impressive and almost another race record to Leanne Pompiani from the ACT. Has taken out the Burnie 10 for the second time, but more importantly, she's added an Australian title to it. So, hope you've enjoyed it, Brent, the telecast today. And from us here in the live stream team, it's a good afternoon from Burnie.
6 decades, De Bruyn's Transport has done more than just move freight. Through every long haul and each local delivery, we've helped keep Tasmania connected. Family owned from day one. This is a business built by people, and on pride in doing things right, day in, day out. De Bruyn's Transport, driven for decades.
Get all the right parts right now with the Cat Central app. Find the exact cat part you need with Woy availability and flexible pickup and delivery options.
Our McCafe blend isn't just barista crafted across Australia. Our beans are also sourced from Kenya, Honduras, Ethiopia and Brazil, then roasted in Melbourne. Just another reason it's coffee fit for an Aussie.
The young man there, Adam Goddard.
He's coming strong.
What a run.
He wants the crowd to get involved. There we go.
Absolutely. And this would be a great thing for him. An Australian title to Adam Goddard. There it is.
Incredible achievement.
Ed Marks into second. He just looked a better athlete all the way. But it's going to be desperately close. I think maybe just falls short. Look, official times will come through. It's 4:31:44. Again, not official. Sometimes, start times and things can be calculated to bring a couple of seconds into it, but I think we might have just seen her miss it. But what a performance. Leanne Pompiani, she has beaten the next athlete by quite some margin. Down the road here, you can see that runner with the blonde hair. He's going to come through and be our 5K winner from the young athlete Cameron Bodner, so that's a good run from both of those. But look, Goddard's a group of a lot of athletes at the moment, the new generation, hopefully maybe even our Brisbane Olympians. We're talking still 7 years away, so